1, person versus person. That is what we have left here. One best of 3. One more chance for Nerchio in his first time playing in a Korean tournament to defeat Maru.
You see right there, man, Maru wants to show the ability. And while the theme of this tournament may be Here I Stand, both players sitting in their seats for the final time here tonight. Nerchio, his own fair share of international success. First time here in Korea, needing to prove that he has what it takes to succeed here as well. And for Maru, just took out Classic, going the long way through the lower bracket here to our final game of the night.
With these bans on maps, nothing surprising here. Maru doesn't want to play Gettysburg, so we're going to go Sage Uncrossed and Galactic Process. Galactic Process actually sneaking in here this map pool because there's a lot of Terrans in this tournament, so not seeing as much of that Frozen Temple map as it gets vetoed a lot. Nerchio, a lot of people tweeted at me, played against him in an online tournament. I feel like that doesn't really count. This is going to be his first time playing against Maru, face-to-face, person-to-person, as he said in the interview. And he could, if he wins this best of 3, advance out of the group. Let's see it. What happens in game number 1 on King Sejong Station.
세종과학기지로 떠납니다.
Don't bring forgiveness, and I'm gonna hunt you down.
Down here in the bottom right, in purple, it is Nerchio, the foreign hope, in this Group D.
There he is, Polish Zerg player, his opponent, the green Terran from the equally green Jin Air Green Wings. This is Maru. He's had some very clever openings against Classic down there in the lower bracket. Now he's going to try to climb his way out of this group with another early gas.
That's right. Going for that gas first. We've seen Byun do this quite a bit. We'll see if he stylistically chooses to play this matchup the same way, with the super aggressive 2 medevac drop style. Well, we won't know for a little while here if that's what he's going to choose, but it's very powerful on this map specifically because the air nat to nat distance is quite quick. You can attack very soon with those drops. You can draw a wedge between the third base and the natural. So creep spread is important versus a strategy like this, but it's just going to be a Reaper opening into a CC, so not as aggressive as Byun, for example, would put this on, although he does sometimes transition into it after the Reaper.
That's very true, because he's a little bit of early, couple of early Zerglings coming out, so it's nothing like a 3-hatch opening or crazy greedy like that. Because like you mentioned, this is very close by air. Second barracks now coming up in base, of course, and I actually want to see what kind of style this is going to be. We've already seen maybe that like 3 racks opening in the base, but this time around it looks like a little bit more standard, although a little bit of a slower trip to higher tech.
So it's going to be the same build that Byun uses with the second barracks. He goes reactor first to build his marine count up, then he gets the tech hub on the second barracks to get a fast stim. So basically he's building a marine count first, and then once he has the gas for the stem, which as you guys can see here really lines up pretty well with the barracks finishing here for him to grab that stem immediately. Very powerful build. The Lings actually avoid the Reaper and will delay this CC, which is quite significant. Nicely done here by Nerchio, and we'll start to work on this reactor a little bit. Just gonna make sure the CC doesn't go up. It's not gonna force a cancel, but it will certainly force Maru's frustration. And the Reaper will come back to deflect that. He saves the SCV, and that's the end of the story.
Will he be able to save these Zerglings? Nope, that Zergling is so dead. And with its death, it does signal the completion imminently of the natural expansion there for Maru. Third base about to go up here for Nerchio. He has been pretty unharassed. He does have about 8lings on the way, so at least preparing for a little bit of incoming pressure. So he still hasn't felt the full wrath of that the Reaper, since it was forced to pull back and save that natural.
Checks the third base hatchery here. And we'll just now use this Reaper to try to get a little bit more value. The Reaper's life is at a you know, it's almost at an end because the metabolic boost will complete. Ooh,
Oh my god. Out of the air.
those Zerglings cheated. They
Yeah,
can't
man.
hit air
You
units.
play single player, you can upgrade your Zerglings to jump up cliffs like
That's right.
Reapers.
Forgot about that.
But you don't even need to upgrade that because Nerchio's Zerglings are so good, they do it already.
Very well done there, trapping that Reaper. Obviously, it was going to go down pretty much no matter what, but minimalizing its efficiency. Now, the stim we talked about earlier is coming out here. It's going to line up with a 2 medevac attack. Now, this is what I like to call the Bjorn build because he really popularized it and you know, was able to beat this Queen style that we're seeing from most Zergs. One of the ways that it can be shut down, though, as we saw Dark do, and also I'm trying to remember who was it that beat him with it recently, but Dark specifically did make a Roach Warden as Nerchio is now, just to make a few roaches to shut this down. They can use the roaches to pressure afterwards. So going to make just a few for the time being. Also working on those rocks, so that cannot be abused against him either. You could take a 4th base on either side.
Nice to see creep spread off on both sides of the map, taking down that wall of rocks like you were talking about. And at this point, like we said, pretty unharassed, essentially. But here comes in the first little bit of harassment from Maru. It's a double drop off to the west-hand side of the map.
He will hit this timing with stim basically perfectly, as you guys can see, but he, you know, does not bring the full Marine count. He only brings 14 instead of 16. It's going to weaken the push slightly, but it's still very powerful. He's going to target down a Roach. Unfortunately, with this much DPS here, he has to lift, and he just unloads and goes back. He's going to try to clear some of the creep probably in just a moment here, and then continue the attack. He can just rally medevacs over 8 at a time of Marines to strengthen this push. And Nerchio just going to make a few more lings here. He's got a large army prepared. Spore already ready as well. Remember, this is kind of the story of Nerchio in this group, is how safe he's playing. He's not getting caught off guard by anything. Maru will maneuver around the Spore, but already he has lings in position.
Oh, the Widowmine just barely taken out before he was able to burrow and go off there, trying to get the most for his bang for his buck out of those Marines. But most of them going down in great defense here. Nerchio unscathed.
Unscathed indeed. 13 drones. The Nerchio style in this group tonight has really just been, what's attacking me? Step 1, defend it. Step 2, make 10 to 15 drones. And then step 3, counterattack with the army I made and take a 4th base. So.
There's almost 20 harvesters up at this point, and even though there are these really annoying drops coming in, he's been able to deflect them. He has a ton of roaches out, and even though there's nothing aside from Queen's like anti-air to really deal with these drops, he isn't really having too many problems with it. He has a few Zerglings in the main. He realizes they're not enough, so he pulls back the roaches and should be able to defend this very adequately.
Yeah, pretty easy defense here. And if you look at the supplies, Maru is kind of falling behind. He's not able to do as much damage as Bjorn, you know, made work with this push, or TY as well, who used this style similarly. He's just really, I mean, he's killed a few army units, and that's about it. Now he's going to come over here and commit to this. He's attacking 2 locations at once, but Nerchio has split his units on both sides. Not very quickly with a split on this one. The infestation pit is also vulnerable, but still, the roaches come over here just in time, and he's pushed away again.
And those medevacs are actually starting to drop down pretty low. I think one of them is now down to about half health. Yeah, you can see it there. Plenty of roaches there in the main base.
Look at this queen.
Nerchio just sees everything. He just knows. Nerch knows.
Nerchio knows, man.
Everything that's going on. He's got roaches that are going to continue to file down there to the 3rd base. The natural expansion well defended there as well. Oh my god.
Well, he's still trying to fight damage here, and he's actually getting a little bit done. Unfortunately, without the target, mostly just to the hit points of this extractor. Now warded off. And guess what? Faster's on the way to help defend. He's also going to have that Hive Tech up. Ultras, you know, are going to be the next step. He already has +1 on the way, getting ready for that transition. The 4th base on the right side, where he cleared those rocks for, is up. And this is what I'm talking about. He defends the pressure, drones up, then counterattacks while taking a 4th base. We've been seeing it all night. And he wants to take the lead in this series, doing just that here in this first game.
Now, interestingly enough, this is going to be our first time seeing Nerchio play with Infestors. There's 3 of them just about to complete right now, and so we'll get a chance to see some of his spell casting adeptitude there. Here, tons of roaches streaming forward. Big damage from takes in the back. Nice micro lifting them up, but a push that should keep them back.
The
Oh my god, where is it gonna go?
Yeah, I guess he didn't have enough energy.
Doesn't have enough energy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that could have actually ended the game. If he hits that fungal, the game ends.
If there'd been like Ravagers like there were in the back trying to stream forward,
Well, he made 3 infestors, if I'm not mistaken, so he could just chain together easily too. I mean, that was a scary moment there. Luckily for Maru, he survives.
Yeah, the
these infestors are here,
they
though.
do have energy for fungal. Looks like the Zerglings will be able to catch a lot of those Marines there. They do get decent surrounds. They will try to, and they do surround those Marines before they can get back to the base. Now, this drop finally annoying enough to push the workers back away and force Nerchio to dedicate some defense to it, but damn.
And these, the positioning of these medevacs being all clumped up for that extended period of time was really stressing me out.
I was really getting some anxiety there.
I was too, man. Well, we'll see what happens going forward here now, as when you look at this, it's a large Zerg army. It's not a composition that we really see in Korea. This is not meta in Korea, but the fact that he was able to sneak these infestors out, make that big investment means that the Ultras are empowered. If he can catch the Marines, the Ultras will just cut through them like butter while they cannot kite or split. And oh man, every time I see this army so clumped up like this, it gets really worrisome for Maru.
I was thinking about we're actually going in there. Lots of corrosive biles all on top of, they're not actually on top of those Liberators. They survive. Still nice pressure there off to the side. The siege tanks in the back line and the Liberators getting tons of value. Decent fungals, but not really all that much, and this is a great hold by Maru, even though he sacrifices some workers.
This was definitely a pretty sloppy attack. He tried to get the fungals off, but the infestors were at the back of his army. They were not in range for the fungals. And siege tanks obviously are going to be great versus infestors because they have such range, so it's kind of hard to keep you don't want to keep your infestor at the front, but if they're at the back, they can't hit.
Oh, there's some money fungals. Still those corrosive biles a little bit off center. Not killing some of the Liberators that he could have. Now these will actually take out OKC again. The Liberator survives just barely in a big push here from Maru.
Maru wants to hit this before the Ultras count starts to get high. In fact, he doesn't have any yet. 2 of them are about to come out. He's really, really getting close to hitting this timing here. Bio obviously great against Roach armies if he can split against the Biles. There's only 1 infestor left. I think he's got just 1 fungal on the map right now. And Bio just out heals this Roach DPS.
Maru scans and knows there's 1 fungal there in the back, continuing to take out those Liberators, thinning their count. But okay, first Ultra starting to pop out here as well, but chitinous plating's not done.
All right, the push forward here. One Ravager at the front will just barely pop in time. The Ultras are here. He needs to get these Biles and these fungals set up. Jumping right on top of this Bio army here, obliterating the tanks, and all he has to do is kill these Liberators now, and he wins the fight.
All right, there are more Liberators coming up there, but he's going to need enough corrosive biles to take them out. Somehow, Nerchio finds the numbers and pushes Maru back to his base. He's losing a lot. The Ultra is actually all dead currently, but Nerchio hangs on.
This is not what Korean Zergs do. They do not play this style. But he's making it work because he's up against 2 sieging units as the meat of the army, and that's the siege tank and the Liberator. These units are immobile, so there is no way to dodge unless you don't siege. And if you don't siege, you don't do damage.
Yeah,
so.
Nerchio taking a little bit of that Avilo advice and building more Ravagers so that he is able to stop all those siege units from pushing his base.
This base is under attack. Currently 7 SCBs go down. He retreats, saves most of the Lings. The problem for Maru too is now he's dealing with Ultralist tech without 3-3. He only just now gets +2, by the way. The Ultras were at 2-2 the entire time. He's got Ultras against him. He lost expensive units. He lost some of his bio, but he lost a lot of medevacs, the expensive siege tanks, and also those Liberators. Yeah.
Keep in mind also Nerchio losing expensive units, a lot of early Ultralisks. You kind of want to save, bank up until they have that chitinous plating. They were taken down, and so now his Ultra numbers are going to be a little bit lower. Oh, trying to snipe this hatchery. It's going to go down.
Nicely done here by Maru to pick this hatchery off.
I mean, that's a lot of bio to lose there at the same time for Maru. But if you look at the army supply, it's not actually that big of a difference. A little bit of an advantage there, but maybe enough AoE here from his siege tank numbers from Maru to make up the difference.
I think it's really critical he takes that base out, because without that it's 5 base. against 3. As we see, this main is moving now into the base over here. He's taking a 4th base.
Nerchio flooding into the 3rd base there, off to the top of the map, but might just swing back around and try to hit this natural. Great siege positions, though, by Maru. Completely stopped this push in its tracks.
You know, Nerchio is brave with this move out here, but the siege up was right on time. He had a nice arc there.
I don't know if this is quite the composition Nerchio really needs. He's kind of tried and failed to harass that position a couple times.
I think it may be time to switch into Corruptor tech to help deal with these Liberators.
I mean, there's actually just so many Liberators. How many of those? 7 Liberators out there.
It does take quite a few biles to kill them, too, even though they're not moving. And it's only down to 7 more Ravagers at this moment in time. He's continuing to attack with this. And there's the Spire. I think it's just about that time. You know, the Ravagers were doing well for him in small numbers, especially defensively, but now he's trying to get on the attack. He's not finding much. This army should just get surrounded and killed here. Maru holds the 4th base for now, which is so critical. He also sniped that base of Nerchio, and he's absolutely still in this game. And as you said, the composition of Nerchio is kind of losing value here. It's losing efficiency as we get into the late game.
Right. You're going to need less and less Roaches, which are primarily early game units, and definitely switching into things like Corruptors to take out all these Liberators. Some way to deal with all of the Terran Air. So maybe mixing in a few Vipers there as well to pull those things out of position. The Corrosive Vial's effective, and I don't think there's Liberator range out either. I didn't catch that, so it should be still effective.
Yeah, there's no Liberator range for sure. Not really meta in this matchup because you're not like trying to siege the Zerg. You're just trying to protect your army.
Nice little Zergling run by does force a pull on these SCVs and takes out a few of them. Also buys Nerchio a lot of time to continue making this transition. Time for the Spire to come up, and it will complete just now. Should see a bunch of Corruptors popping.
Well, let's see if this little run by to the top can actually find a little bit more hard damage, as it is, you know, some ultras in there. Nerchio's ultra count is actually off the charts. I know, like, Nathanius is getting, like, really sweaty at home, getting stressed out watching this one, but I mean, he has 8 ultras. That's almost too many, because it's hard to get value out of all of those.
Yeah.
Because they bump into each other. But this run by Justlings actually brings the ultras back. Nice fumble here.
Oh my god, that's actually going to take a lot of that bio out. Still even army supplies for both players, forcing a lift there on that the second, or the one of the only 2 mining bases there for Maru.
Yeah, he's out of money. It is natural. This base is running low on money, and he can't even consistently.
He has to pull back his army again to defend that Ling run by. At the same time, though, he is able to stop the 6th.
So basically, Nerchio is continually expanding and securing bases, although he failed to do this one, whereas Maru is drying up pretty heavily here. And look at Nerchio's bank as well.
These Corruptors getting so much value.
Maru might turn around and fight them, though. He's got to be careful of that.
To that point where you use your corruption ability, you somehow like evolve the ability to kill off actual units. You can just like corrupt those few Marines, but here come those 8 Ultras. You're talking about a huge fungal right on the bulk of the bio up at the front. Lots of Liberators in the back, though. Pull these Corruptors forward to try to deal with them. There's a little bit of bio on the ground, but Corruptors are not easy to take out.
Yeah, they have a lot of hit points. They are armored, of course, so it's tougher to kill them than, say, a Mutalisk.
Look at all that larva there at the base that is just going to die again. And I believe if the base is dead, then
the larva does die, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Nice fungal here. This actually might just break the back of Maru.
His fungals have been actually massive, though, but those Liberators off the back, so much value, pushing Nerchio back again.
Nerchio, every time he takes a positive trade, he sends Lings back, and every time he gains ground with this push, he's also gaining crease spread. Look at the crease spread on the map. He's getting closer and closer. And every time he kills more SCVs, Maru is out of money. He's struggling to transition into Ghost because he's not healthy.
Yeah,
the larva will die, by the way,
only
if the creep recedes.
Right.
If it does, you know, that'll happen. It looks very unlikely to happen in this game, though, as Maru is just pushed back time and time again. This may be the last fight if he loses this army.
You just look at the income; it's just not there for Maru. Struggling to survive on what is essentially one base at this point. Might try to take that 1 o'clock base, but I don't even know if he can really protect that enough against what have been incredible fungals here by Nerchio. He's got a decently high Ultralisk count. He does continue to get his bases sniped, though, so might need to worry about that a little bit.
Ooh, I think I might have remade that a little bit too quick.
Just barely.
Okay.
Oh, ye of little faith. Little does Wolf know. Nerchio,
he knew the timing.
He does. He knows the timing. He knows what the fox says.
Ooh.
He knows how to run his
Investors into the
investors
army.
into that.
This
Now,
is
there
also
are
a bad angle too. He does not want to fight here.
Yeah, there are those ghosts out there. These kind of pushes for Nerchio just kinda a little bit confusing. Maru with a strong push here, but like we said, barely any economy behind this. So as long as Nerchio can just hang on, just defeat this push for Maru, he's going to be okay.
All right, he's coming across here. He actually wants to do a push of his own. He's going to just let the space go. And wow, he's going to go for the heart here. He's going to try to get on top of the production, which can actually really just end Maru. I mean, he will never have enough money to rebuild all those barracks. In fact, you know, his third base is out of money. He's really just on one base. Any army units he loses are so difficult to replace at this point in time,
Rocks
especially the Liberators.
Broken down. Nerchio in the natural. Liberators coming over there. Where are those Corruptors? Need to get there to try to stop this now. Actually, a couple of Ghosts getting picked off there by Zerglings in the back line. Great value there, but here come the Corruptors that Nerchio needs to further this push.
I think that Nerchio needs to be really careful about taking another inefficient fight, because if he does that, the Maru has the army to just counterattack him and kill him. So, because he also doesn't have that much of a bank because his base has kept getting sniped. He cannot be losing ultras to snipes like this. He needs to fight on open ground, and he needs to really like crush this army. He wants to avoid ramps. Like, ramps are now Nerchio's natural born enemy. Like, he has to avoid them like the plague, because if he loses one fight, Maru could just spring back into this game. Good control here.
Yeah, this is actually great positioning there by on those the Corruptors, able to take out a few of those Liberators. But look at this push, just continuing to steamroll forward. Maru might just have the composition he needs to take this game.
He absolutely could. I mean, he's starting to take control of these bases. Nerchio with another run by to catch up.
These Zergling run-bys are just doing so much work for
Nerchio.
Nerchio.
That Viper!
Almost goes down.
Okay, snipes the 9 o'clock expansion. Now going to send his army back, trying to chase Nerchio here. Nerchio lost his base over here as well at some point, and now is really out of money. Like, one fight might decide this game, guys, and Maru is finally deciding to move his natural over to the top right. That's just how close this game is.
He moved his main, now he's moving his natural. This is just the state we're at. It's very difficult to take and hold these new bases. Both players really clinging to their last few mining bases. Getting a nice couple of grabs here on those Liberators, thinning the count, even grabbing a couple of Ghosts in.
I think it's well worth it to get any units you can. Oh, that could have been the fungliest fungle. and at this point, every unit killed is so important. Trading energy for units when neither player really has an economy is so good.
I don't think that Maru can land that command center at the 1 o'clock.
You're right, he can't. If he kills this base again, though, Nerchio will still also not be mining. Nerchio is literally long distance mining right now.
All right, and he does read correctly the vulnerability of that 5th base. Medevac coming in, but there should be enough Zerglings there to deal with it. Fortunately, nothing can actually take it out of the sky, but Maru losing a few careless units up there to the top.
Every Marine counts at this point with Maru's economy the way it is. His 4th base is nearly mined out now. He needs to secure a 5th, and if Nerchio can just stop that from happening, eventually he just bleeds out of the game. You know, Nerchio's kind of like trying to grind him out of this, take his economy away, and every single unit he kills is hard to replace.
Yep, a decent, actually a more than decent Ghost count there for Maru. So he will be able to snipe high priority units coming forward. I don't think Nerchio wants to take a straight up fight. He's been doing great with these Zergling run-bys. Both players just so stressed on their economies.
I mean, Nerchio's about to have both bases resecured. The onus is on Maru to figure something out here. He needs to secure a base. He got the 9 o'clock set up now. He's going to land that. That's really important. He also still has 15 Ghosts here. Nerchio does not want to take a straight up fight. And this, taking the base at the top right is impossible.
Zergling run by. And this is actually what's been keeping Nerchio in a great spot in this game. Going to run by, not fast enough to raise those depots, and that means that Maru's main's in a lot of trouble.
Very much so. Now I'm down here at the bottom left. This base,
Nerchio
unprotected.
Keeps losing that base over and over again. I mean, at that point, you might as well commit to like a few spine crawlers just to keep it up, because there's such a premium on mining. He's got 56 trophies. I
think taking the high ground base in the middle, which he's now finally retaking,
what
is
are those
actually the better way.
Zerglings doing? They're not attacking.
They're just bugged out the AI, but the base that he scans here is actually super important, because this is the better base to take. You have the high ground, you can hold it a lot easier. I'm surprised he was trying to take the satellite base for so long. And EMP's going down over here, does not actually get what he wanted. The Corruptors...
They can now no longer corrupt buildings.
Corruptors would not be
That's a terrible spot to run through there, so I hope Nerchio doesn't go for it.
He's actually just going to walk away and let this base go down. This base is almost out of money. Maru has basically done what I thought was going to be impossible for him, is to take that base to left. Nerchio is not pressuring that, and he can't hold bases. So these run-bys, you know, are losing value too, because Maru is just camping these bases that are so precious to him right now.
Yeah, it's more like a run through at that point, but we'll be able to continue to get in there. Now Maru has secured one base down there at the 9 o'clock. So if he can hold that, then that's basically victory.
This game is out of control right now.
Nerchio just doesn't protect his bases. I mean, this is kind of
this base goes down. He's essentially...
He's trying to take the hardest to hold base on the map right now.
Well, it's hard to hold the middle one too, obviously, because to go up to defend it,
right,
you have to bring all your units and you go up ramps, which are his natural enemy right now. But I feel like the most critical I want to be of Nerchio is he's not splitting his army, period, at all. He's 1-Aing all across the map.
That F2 button's a good button, man.
Yeah, and that's why he's struggling to defend, because Maru is going multiple places.
Okay, some nice buggles there, but EMPs on all of the corruptors, or not, yeah, all the infestors rather.
But also the corruptors too.
Well, there is, yeah, okay, all right.
I mean, they technically did hit the corruptors.
Nice save, all right.
It doesn't matter, but...
Either way, that's actually huge. Now, no energy on Nerchio's army means that he's actually just in a really hard place right now.
This actually reminds me of a game that was played, I think, in 2011 between Demaga and IMMVP at the World Championships. Are going to be actually invited a bunch of players out here. Like, it was this late, along with my Ultras. I think even BCs came into it. There was like a disconnect as well. The game had to be replayed. The second game was just as epic. This is a... You know, Foreigner versus a top-tier Korean Terran that we're watching right now, and it's like out of control, good game. But Nerchio is struggling to hold these bases, as you mentioned, because he's really just kind of keeping his army together in a blob right now.
Nerchio is still continuing with these Zergling run-bys, but they're not run-bys if you're not putting on pressure at the same time. So
finally gets in with this one.
There we go. But even still, Maru is so good at splitting his army. Oh my god, all the ghosts get caught.
All the ghosts get caught. There's even roaches here.
There's no detection though, so they're safe.
Just barely finished in time.
There's no overseer.
He's
here they come.
What is he doing with these corruptors?
Oh my god. Okay, okay, that's that. Oh my god. GG.
Maru just broke his focus there somehow.
That's a mental boom, man.
Yeah, that definitely, he fell apart right there at that exact moment. Maru, though, with some incredible tenacity in that game. He was a solo eco for so long. He finally got that base to the top left, built that ghost count, and then outmaneuvered repeatedly Nerchio, because Nerchio was not able to hold on to his bases.
Well, Maru able to outmaneuver Nerchio because he was splitting his army much better. Had that sick mass EMP all over the corruptors, but also the infestors. Takes out all the energy. Ghost finish cloak right at the right time, right as they get surrounded by those Zerglings. Saves the ghost life. The overseers don't come in time. Sick way to finish the game there for Maru. That's not the only game we have to play tonight, guys. Frost, our second map, coming up. This is Nerchio's last chance. His hopes, the Foreigner hope in the KeSPA Cup, lives and dies on this game.